Very well, time for our interactive segment. Many thanks indeed for keeping me company. And as I had mentioned earlier, we'll be looking at women agripreneurs in securing Kenya's food future. You'll bear me witness that after UN declared 2026 the International Year of the Woman Farmer, attention now is turning and shifting to how women are shaping up our food baskets in our country. And allow me, without further ado, to introduce my guest, who is Catherine Rugasira Rusagara. I hope I've mentioned it right. Yes, who is the head of program delivery Youth Entrepreneurship for the Future of Food and Agriculture, YEFA, at Agra.
Yes.
Maybe you can start by telling us what exactly you do at YEFA.
Thank you very much and good afternoon. The Youth Entrepreneurship for the Future of Food and Agriculture, YEFA, is a youth program that is focusing on building jobs within the agriculture sector for youth, especially women. We are looking at 50% of the jobs that we create to be focused on women. The program is doing this through catalytic investments, gender-responsive catalytic investments, that are really addressing the needs of the women agripreneur, that are really addressing the needs of the youth. It's making sure that our smallholder farmers have resilience to address subsistence farming with climate change. And it's also working with governments, working with partnerships to make sure that we are addressing the systemic barriers that are excluding women from participating in the agribusiness sector.
Yeah.
So ultimately, we need to be catalysts to make sure that we're providing women with access to the agriculture sector with the right systems, the right products, the right financial services to be able to participate in the market systems and trade.
And it's true whatever you're saying, because 76% of Kenya's agriculture labor is women, from flower farms to small-scale farmers to even big, from large-scale farmers. But yet, they remain highly under-supported. What does this reveal about our agri-food system?
They remain highly under-supported, and it shows that 20 to 30% of their farmers produce less yield, 20 to 30% less yield. So it reveals is that some of them are locked out of the system. It reveals that they don't always have access to functional supportive systems. This can be market systems, financial systems, land systems, that would then allow them to participate equally and to have an equal opportunity to now develop thriving agribusinesses. So what is our role? As partners, we have to work together to ensure that we are providing women agripreneurs with the opportunity to access the right systems to be able to participate and increase the yield on their farms and be able to move from subsistence farming to commercialization.
And the UN declared 2026, as I mentioned, the International Women for the Day for the Year for the Woman Farmer, especially. How significant is it for our Kenyan context? We have seen the head of state, since he got into power, he has really leveraged on farming and agriculture, especially when it comes to boosting women.
I hope that this year we're all going to really rise above collectively. And I think it's not really a choice anymore or a case of charity. I think women have to be empowered. They have to be given the right tools. They have to be given the right supportive systems, because agriculture is the engine of growth. Historically, we've seen that if countries have moved from low income to middle income, it has been through agriculture transformation. So we have to strengthen the women agripreneur. We have to empower the women agripreneur to make sure that we then impact the growth of food security, and we also impact the growth of the economy as well. So this year should be a year where we really come together collectively to impact the agri-women farmer by building catalytic investments that will allow the agripreneur to participate in an inclusive agri-food system.
Yeah, and women-led agribusinesses, they do perform well, but unfortunately earn less as compared to their male counterparts. Why is this gap, and how can we be able to close that gap?
The gender gap actually presents a 1 trillion opportunity. So we have to close this gap. There is no question about it. The reason why has quite a few variables, from market systems that are exclusive, from financial systems that exclude women from having access to credit, gender responsive credit, from societal cultural norms as well that are biased against women. So it's not just one thing, it's a whole host of things. And that's why we say multi-stakeholder partnerships addressing these inequalities is key to transforming the agriculture sector.
And let's talk about middlemen. From where I come from, I've seen a number when it comes to middlemen, when you talk about avocados, macadamia, you know, mangoes, especially now that we're in the season of mangoes. Yeah. How do they, and also informal middlemen, how do they affect women agripreneurs?
I think they tend to affect the general value chain. And I think the challenge there is the price inequality that can sometimes occur. But there is positiveness to the middlemen because it's a logistics equation. Very often the big buyers cannot get to the small farms, and therefore the aggregator or the broker plays a significant role. The question is, how is that role being played? And can we then structure the value chain to make sure that qualitative pricing and equal pricing is available to the woman agripreneur, and that they're not paid less than they should be as well. So it's really building those systems to make sure that it's an inclusive and equitable system that's available to the woman agripreneur.
What are some pearls of wisdom that you can give the agripreneurs there, and especially women there, to scale their businesses from small scale to maybe middle or even large scale?
I think one of the things that we have seen working in YEFA is to understand that agribusiness is a feasible, economically feasible business, but you must understand how to run the business. You know, you must be able to be financially literate, you must be able to understand how to do marketing, you must be able to increase your productivity and quality as well. So the number of aspects there that we, from the YEFA program, actually train women on. Not only the technical skills, but also the soft skills and the leadership skills as well. So the women are ready, I would say. What they're looking for is a system, is collective partnerships to make sure that we are giving them the opportunities as well. So to the women out there, be bold, be brave, and make sure that you remain in the agribusiness sector, because the inclusive agribusiness sector is developing, and we as partners are committed to working to build that.
And speaking of partners, how are you as YEFA specifically helping these young farmers, and especially the young female farmers? Because even if we look at the age demographics in Kenya, most farmers are more or less 40 and above. They're not the young people, they're not the Gen Zs.
Actually, Gen Zs do want to do farming, but they find that, again, they're locked out of the system. So what the YEFA program is doing is picking the right partners. For example, picking the financial institutions to build inclusive financial models, working with our local chiefs to address some of the societal cultural challenges that are being faced by women, which means that we're now promoting a strong network of female farmers to train other female farmers. It also means that we're working with the private sector to allow women to be linked to different off-takers. So we work with partners as the YEFA program to make sure that we're providing the access that women might not ordinarily have, and really making sure the system is accessible by women as well.
And looking at the agriculture food chain, value chain, which offers the best opportunities for young farmers?
It depends on the farmer aspiration. There isn't the one best, because there are opportunities across the entire value chain. So really it's for the youth to be able to understand the YEFA program, is that we're able to offer the opportunities and explain and expound and support the youth to access those opportunities within the different value chain. There's obviously opportunities for smallholder farmers from productivity. There are huge opportunities for value addition as well, and agro-processing. There's huge opportunities both on farm and off farm as well. And we need both. The agriculture sector needs both. So you cannot promote one without the other. If you're promoting productivity, then you need a market to be able to absorb that supply and productivity. So we would say that opportunities exist across the value chain. We don't forget technology and the digital aspect. And this is key for the women agripreneur, because we are seeing a digital divide, which is sometimes overlooked. So 25% more women are accessing the internet less. So it's important that we close this digital gap, because if you're not accessing the internet, you're missing out on e-commerce platforms, market linkages, knowledge and technology. So we also have to ensure that as we're building a technical or technology-driven agriculture sector, we are making sure that it's inclusive and that women are involved in this.
There are many institutions and even organizations that offer agriculture credit, but less than 10% gets to women farmers. How do we change this?
I think it's important to understand that what are we offering? Are we offering what suits us, or are we offering gender responsive incentives? For example, in Malawi, we're working with a microfinance, and the women there are accessing credits, and they're accessing credits through inputs. So they're given inputs and then they pay back the credit once they have harvested. So it always depends on the service offering as well. So it might be being offered, but is it reaching the women as well? Are they aware of it? And are we offering the right product or service that the woman agripreneur needs?
And how does, we've had PPPs even on our roads and even on agriculture. How does public-private partnership also help to, and even organizations like AGRA, help us close the finance gap?
Yeah, AGRA is plays a catalytic role, so coordinating between government, private sector, financial institutions, and is to really play the role of making sure that we strengthen and design inclusive, driven systemic interventions. So it comes from the design, that's where it begins. So if we're intentional right from the beginning, then we're going to achieve an impactful, sustainable end. So to me, it's about designing those right financial models that we spoke about, and making sure that they reach the woman agripreneur as well.
And before we wrap up this conversation, what is the message that you would want to offer of hope, and maybe on what Kenyan women farmers need to do to change 2026? Is there a year after all?
I think the onus is on us. I think the women are doing what they can, but the onus is on the multi-stakeholder partnerships. The onus is on having gender-responsive policies. The onus is of investments providing gender-responsive financing. The onus is on market providers, off-takers, private sector, being inclusive and reaching out to women. So the three have to work together if we're going to reform the agriculture sector, if we're going to have an inclusive agriculture sector that can drive economic growth.
And for the young farmers who have been watching this conversation and would like to get in touch with you for the programs that you guys offer, how can they reach you?
They can always reach us on our AGRA website. I think that is the most accessible by everybody and easily to find us. So you'll be able to access the AGRA on our AGRA website. And I encourage all the youth farmers we need you for the future. You are the future of agriculture. So please do continue farming, because it's through to you and up to you that we shall build a resilient agriculture inclusive sector.
All right, I have been speaking to Catherine Rugasira Rusagara. Apologies. Apologies, I got confused there a bit. But she's the head of program delivery, youth entrepreneurship for the future of food and agriculture, YEFA at AGRA. Been talking about women agripreneurship in securing Kenya's food future. And as you've heard, the opportunities, the strength, and 2026 is the year for you, especially you young agricultural farmers, especially the young ladies.